Today I'm going to show you how to replace a toilet. Now, toilets are designed to be easy to repair, but sometimes it's just easier and even cheaper in today's case to replace the toilet than to continue to repair it. The hardest part about this, frankly, today is the fact that this is a very small bathroom, and trying to record it while I'm doing it is going to be tricky at best. But this is the toilet that I'm going to replace. And the first thing you need to do before you even buy your toilet is a couple of measurements. So I'll show you what you need to do there. So the most important measurement is the distance between the wall and the bolts that hold the toilet down. So in my case, that's 12 inches or a foot. In North America, toilets, their parts, their operation, and their sizes are all fairly standardized. So that will generally be either 12 inches or 10 inches. Okay, so you need to measure that before you buy the toilet, and that bolt position corresponds to the center of the drain position where the rough-in plumbing is. So that's critical. If that's not right, it won't fit. The other thing you need to measure is the distance to the front of the bowl, okay, which in this case is about 27 inches. And then from there to whatever wall is in front of it, because you need to leave enough room there for somebody to sit and stand up, so for their knees and whatever. So those are the measurements you need. And then when you buy the toilet, it'll either have a 10-inch or a 12-inch offset from the wall for the drain position, and then the length of the bowl and distance of the bowl from the wall will vary somewhat. And so you just, in a small bathroom like this, it's really important to know that you've got enough room, that you don't get a toilet that's too long so that the person can't sit down on it. Okay, so I did all that. I did buy a toilet that should fit, and so now it's time to replace it. So the first thing you want to do is turn off the water supply to the toilet. Okay, so that needs to be turned off, and then once you do that, you want to flush the toilet to get all the water out of the tank, and that'll put the water into the bowl. When you flush it, the water flows from the tank into the bowl, and then you'll have a bowl full of water, okay, which is heavy. Water is heavy, so it's every 2 cups of water weighs a pound. So you want to take a rag and soak up the water from in the bowl, squeeze it out into a bucket, and get all the water out of the toilet. Because they're porcelain, they're heavy as it is, and if it's full of water, it's going to be even harder to remove. So I've done all that ahead of time. All right. So then the next thing you need to do, and it's kind of hard to see here, but there's a nut at the top of this water line that attaches to the toilet tank, and that's where the water feeds into the toilet. So you need to loosen that. So it's generally a plastic nut, and so you just get a pair of pliers, give it a little twist, and then it comes right off by hand. Okay. Now this is an old antique house, so this tubing here is hard. It's copper plated with chrome. Nowadays, toilets have a flexible feed usually, okay, that's plastic made to look like chrome. But again, it's got the same size nut on the top and the same size on the bottom. These are, like I said, all standardized in North America. All right. Now we got a little water dripping out of here. There's always going to be a little bit of water, so keep a rag around just to catch the water so you don't make a mess. All right, so that's the first step. So now the tank is not attached to the wall anymore. Now we want to take the tank off the toilet, because like I said, these things are heavy and you want to take them apart so that they're easier to get out of here. So I'm going to pull the lid off of here. And the tank is held on by these two bolts. Okay, so all you do is get a screwdriver, hold the nut on the bottom with a pair of pliers, and unscrew that. Now, a lot of times these will be rusted and it'll be hard to get them out. In that case, you can often get the nut to turn on the bottom easier. Okay, so I've got the nut and the washer off the bottom. Get the other side. Yeah, it's stuck, but I got the nut turning on the bottom. Okay, so I've got that off. So now this isn't attached either. Okay. Now inside here, the thing that usually goes that makes your toilet run is this little flapper, and you can replace those easily. They just pop right off and hook onto the lever with a chain and a little clip. Okay, so that's the easiest fix on a toilet. If it's just running, it's usually this flapper. Okay. Sometimes you need to replace the float system. Now some of these have a long arm and a ball. Some of them have it built in, but they all do the same thing. They float up and turn the water off when the tank is full. Okay, so I'm just going to lift this off. And now our toilet's half the size. Okay, so the next thing is you pop these plastic covers off. Come on. Sometimes you just need to get over there with a screwdriver. Okay, pop these off, and then there's one nut on each side holding the toilet down to the floor. So give yourself a wrench. And you just undo that knot. Okay, so there's a nut, a washer, and this little plastic thing that holds the cap. So we'll get rid of that. Get the one on the other side. And now we can just lift this off. Now this is stuck to the floor and the pipe, usually with something called a wax seal. And you'll see that later when we install the new one. Okay, so a wax seal is just basically a circle of soft beeswax that seals the pipe so that nothing leaks out when you flush the toilet. Okay, and when you put the toilet down, it squeezes that in and conforms perfectly to the shape of the flange that the toilet's sitting on. But when you pull this off, it's going to look kind of messy and sticky, and we have to clean that off. Okay, now when you pull the toilet off, chances are you're still going to have some water in the trap. Okay, so in this part of the pipe here, there's it traps some water to keep the sewer gas from coming back up. So what I do is I get a big garbage bag. Nice heavy duty one. Okay, and because of that water and the sticky wax, I'm going to pick the toilet up, put it on here so that we can sort of contain all that when we carry it out to the curb. Okay, I'm doing this with cameras in the way. So pull that straight up, set it down in the bag. And get it out. Okay, you can see the wax seal here. This is in pretty good shape. Actually, some of them are really pretty disgusting. So the next step is to scrape that out and put that in the garbage. So you just need a putty knife or a scraper. And scrape that out. Now this is very sticky and disgusting. Okay, but it's just wax. Okay, it's just wax. And then these are the bolts that hold the toilet down, and they are slid into a slot. Okay. We're going to get rid of those. There will be new ones with the toilet. And then just clean this up. So that it's nice and ready for the new toilet. Okay. Now, this is a direct line down to the sewer or septic tank. Okay, so if you're not going to be putting a new toilet in right away, you want to stick something in there to keep that gas from coming up and stinking up your bathroom. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this wax, get the new toilet ready, clean this up, and then we will continue.